Hey guys, I'm Infernion. I've been competing in the AWC for more than 10 years, and I've gotten rank 1 in every expansion since Cataclysm. This means I've been around for a while, and I've seen just how bad ladder manipulation can get. And let me tell you, it's extremely bad right now. So, there's always been a problem with Protection Paladins in Solo Shuffle, but right now it's completely out of control. As I'm making this video, there's even a Prot Paladin called Chimp around top 10 ladder in Europe. If you're not familiar with how Prot Paladins work in Shuffle, they count as a separate healer and they can only queue into other Prot Paladins. There's also not a lot of them actually playing, so it's very easy to queue into your friend and match fix if you want to win trade or even specifically grief DPS players. We can see here that not even 300 players have played Shuffle on Prot Paladin the entire season. If we look at only top 16, it's kind of obvious that a lot of the Paladins belong to very few players. And we can see here that one of them is called Chimp, one of them is called Poxy, and the other one is called Kevin. If we look at activity from just a random day, we can see just how many lobbies they actually get to ruin for DPS players who's sitting 20-minute queues to like 2-hour queues. However long your queues are, it's never fun to queue into Prot Paladins who's not even trying to play the game and who's just griefing and win trading. Another example of activity is here, and this is not even all the activity. This is just a snippet from an update on the ladder. People have been talking about this since the introduction of Solo Shuffle. If you look at the forums, you can find many threads of people talking about it, and Blizzard seems to have done nothing about this yet. The funny thing about these threads is that they're often made by other Prot Paladins who's accusing other Prot Paladins of win trading. A name that often appears in these threads is Abusno, who's the self-proclaimed emperor of Prot Paladins. He loves to reply in these threads and basically flame the other Paladins and say there's just a lot of skill gap and talk about how everyone else is win trading. There's also the guy called Crap, who you might not recognize his name, but that's because he right now goes by the name Chimp, and he's the highest rated Prot Paladin right now. Let's just real quick look if this is actually the same player. We can look at the achievement points. They both have 30k, and the reason they're a little bit different is that this is his alliance character, the other one is Horde. If we cross-reference real quick with the honor level, we can see 1296 and also 1296 for Chimp. And once again, we can also look at collections like pets, for example, and see they have the exact same amount of pets and the pets have the same names. So it's very obvious that this is actually Chimp. But if we look at a forum thread where he replied to Abusno, it's kind of funny because he says, this will be my last season. He's talking about last season now. This will be my last season playing Prot, as I was only going to do it to push rank 1. But seeing how much time and effort you, Abusno, put into cheating, I ain't that bothered, as I know I got 0 chance with you and your 6 accounts. It's not that deep. A Prot rank 1 title, and players know this. But obviously to you, it means a lot. He also says that his advice to Abusno is that being number 1 Prot isn't much of anything. And by him spending so much money on WoW and subs, it's actually kind of sad how much effort he's putting into bragging about an irrelevant title. He's also saying that he wants to apologize to people that he has been playing Prot because people have been getting the Prot lobbies, which is kind of funny because he also says that he's not going to play Prot again, and now he's the number 1 win trading Prot Paladin. We can also find posts from other win traders, such as Kevin, who's trying to say that he has proof that Abusno win traded. Honestly, looking at all of this, it kind of reminds me of that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing fingers at each other. It's actually a bit sad. If we take a look real quick at the history of the Prot Paladins since Shuffle has been introduced, we actually see that Abusno has been kind of dominating on the ladder, which is very impressive on a ladder where everyone else is cheating. If we take a look at the most recent season, there was 3 Paladins who got the rank 1 title. One was called Big Lollipop, one was called Au Revoir, and one was called Abusno. And now, if we look at Big Lollipop, we can see that the character doesn't even have full gear. It also doesn't even have the best enchants, it doesn't have gems, and it's obviously a new account. As we can see, it has 600 achievement points. The same thing goes for Au Revoir, where there's no full gear, no gems. This does not look like a character you'd push to the top of the ladder. People have been saying these characters are Abusno, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, But the day after last season ended, he typed from the Big Lollipop account. The history repeats itself. There's only one true emperor, and no dog Wintrading can stand next to him. Now, I've had the pleasure myself of running into him quite a few times in the last few seasons, and here's how it looks when you actually face him. I'm just gonna fast forward the games, just so we don't take up too much time from the video. But as you can see here, the Paladin holds his trinket or bubble, and then he lay on hands the Warlock, so he can't bop him. And obviously the Warlock is just gonna die then. We have the second game here, where I'm on Abusno's team again. And the other Paladin just trinkets Intim stun. And then he kinda holds his bubble so long. And once again, he just lay on hands him, so he can't bubble or bop. And he uses the Guardian, which, you know, kinda just insta gets CC'd. The last game I'll show here is where I'm on team with Universio, where we're pushing in on the Warlock here. I get coiled. My guy still has Trinket and Bubble, and he refuses to really use anything. And I have to port, he gets cloned, and he still just presses nothing. So, as you can see, the games with Abusno never really had a legitimate feel to them. The thing is, though, as they say,
no king rules forever, my son.
As you can see here, a couple of weeks back, someone made a post about the new Paladin Kings. And as others pointed out in the thread, when you make a hero class, it starts at level 10, and it can therefore be linked to the main account. So if we go to check PvP and see who made this DK, it is in fact Abusno himself posting about the new Wintraders. And it's even more funny because this DK can be found glazing Abusno's win rate and talking about how good he is all over the forum. So around the same time, I made a tweet about the Wintrading Prot Paladins and how they've been Wintrading for several seasons now, queuing into other green-geared Prot Paladins with 0 enchants. And this tweet had a couple of interesting replies, one of them from a guy named Kev, who said, "How do you know they were Wintrading? Do you have any proof of this? As I understand, Prot Palas only face other Prots, and they could just be high competitive Prot Palas, no? Or do Prot Palas have to stay below 2k rated to be non-Wintrading Prot Palas?" Now, if this name rings a bell, it's because one of the Wintrading Prot Paladins is called Kevin. And this account was, funnily enough, made the same day I tweeted. So I don't know if this is a coincidence or if this is another genius level disguise from the Prot Paladins, but I think the last one. And another interesting reply was someone posting their Discord logs, because apparently Puxy was streaming this whole thing. And he tapped out into Discord DMs accidentally. And we can see him talking to Chimp here, where he says, if you face me and give us 12-0, I'm probably 2.2. And then they basically talk about how they're going to win trade and how their MMI is good in Shuffle. So now they're going to move on to Blitz and they're organizing the win trade, right? It's very obvious what's happening. And Hikmet here is Puxy. The day after I tweeted this, I actually queued into them on the ladder and I queued off stream and I made a new tweet. As always, calling out win traders means they just straight up grief you. Same Paladins holding the EU ladder hostage by queuing all day win trading and now griefing anyone who speaks about it. People learned you could do this and not get banned. And here's a screenshot from me queuing into them. And I actually recorded the game, so let's take a look at it. So, as I said, I'm playing off stream first. And let's start by just inspecting their gear, because I want to know if they still don't enchant and gem it, and they do in fact not do that. I feel like someone should really teach these people how to gear their character. And guys, I just want to say real quick before we speed through it, I'm going to cut through the games kind of fast, as I don't want to spend too much time on this. They've already admitted to the griefing, and it's kind of obvious what's happening, right? So instead what I'll do is, I'll link the full 024 in an unlisted video in the description if you really want to watch it. If I put all 24 shuffle rounds in one video, on top of everything else, we're looking at a 40-minute video, and I don't think anyone wants to watch that. So let's get into it, guys. We're straight into game 2 here, and we actually see him pressing normal Bob on me against Devastation Destro in the first 20 seconds. Now, obviously, if you press normal Bob, you cannot press spell Bob, and you're just kind of gonna die, right? Here we have game 3, where we once again just kind of run in, trinket, bubble air, and then we decide to lay enhance me, even though I'm actually already 100% HP. But you could argue like he doesn't see the health stone, right? But the trinket, the bubble, the lay enhance, and one thing that happens throughout all these games is that when they don't want to win, they never press Hodge. So in this game, we're also not going to press Hodge. Now he can't really save me because of what he did in the opener, right? Then we have the last game here I'm going to show from the lobby. He has run in, trinket, bubble, air again, and he doesn't bob me, he doesn't spell bob me, he doesn't press anything for me. So let's get into the games where I decided to turn on stream, because I was thinking, you know what, if they're going to grief me, let me at least turn on stream so we can get some content out of it. As you can see here, the guy question marks me, and I say, you can question mark me all you want, you'll get banned before the season ends, hopefully. And he starts going on this rant about how I should blame Blizzard for allowing tanks if I'm mad at tanks in PvP, and how he doesn't understand what I'm on about, saying that he's streaming for people who threaten him with reports so he has insurance. And then in the end here, he starts to like taunt me, saying that I have packed, by the way, stop griefing him. Which is insanely fried, because I actually have a friend who's getting griefed by them, and he called them disgusting in-game, which is not a very nice thing to say, obviously, but he got banned for a week for doing this. I'm not sure why Blizzard is so quick to ban the people who get frustrated by the behavior, instead of the people actually engaging in the behavior. But yeah, let's take a look at the games. The thing he does here in game 1, which is very, very genius actually, is that he presses spell bob on me on 5% HP against Demo MM, which is, you know, you'd probably want to play normal bob against this. This is actually something they do a lot of the games where they choose to use the wrong bob, and it's kind of obviously intentional, right? So here I get spell bobbed, and there's just not really much to do at this point. And I'm just gonna die here. The next game we run in, and let's see what happens. He just kind of trinkets, bubbles, lay enhance me, and he already like spell bobbed or bobbed someone. I don't even know what's going on here. But obviously not off to a great start, and we're just kind of gonna lose this game. It's not really the best game we've ever played. Now we have game 5, where once again we're on the mount, and we run in, and we trinket Intim Stun, the Prot Paladin classic. And remember, we're not gonna press Hodge, of course, because we wouldn't want things to go the wrong way. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Let me just press wall, let me see if I can get some damage out, and see if I can kill them randomly. But as an Affliction Warlock, that's kind of hard. And he ends up like bubbling a scatter that actually breaks, and then he just doesn't really press bob, spell bob. I don't know. Doesn't really press anything for me. Now we have the last game I'm going to show in this lobby, where we run in, of course. And let's see what happens. So once again, he's going to press spell bob against Demo MM. Actually, it's a BM Hunter. Which is not really that optimal, of course. And he just kind of bobbles air as well and doesn't really heal me. And in the end here, you can see I'm 10 seconds on forbearance here, and he still has Lay on Hands, he still has Trinket. But of course, is he going to Trinket the Fear? Not fast, at least, and he definitely doesn't Trinket to Lay on Hands me, and he just lets me die. So guys, as I said, Poxy was actually streaming this, so let's check from his point of view in the next game.
Nice last game, nice last game, nice last game. Nice last game. Wir haben, oh, jetzt wird's hier krachen. And after this we play Blitz. Oh, Is he in main? Is he on main or not? Oh, he got at least some rating back. This season will be hard for Inferno to get some rating. It's not so much fun because it's not his main, but we will try the best for the Inferno. We will try. Wait, nah.
So he actually does something kind of funny here. He swaps from Guardian of the Forgotten Queen into Steed, which is 2 seconds extra on Steed, just so there's no chance to win, of course. You know, this is not really normal talents for prop paladins, but again, this is not normal games.
Das macht jetzt nicht. Typing? Yeah, I don't know this paladin. We just got lucky here.
Let's see if he's at least gonna press some buttons in this game. It kind of looks like he's just running it down mid. He's definitely pretty far in. He presses no CC. And then he actually presses normal bob on me here against DH Shadow Priest, which again, you'd kind of expect a spell bob. But we are not really trying to win the game, and we're just not really gonna press any buttons at all. The next game is here, and as you can see, he has Trinket the entire time, but he doesn't Trinket, and then when he comes out, he lay on hands himself instead of me. The next game, we're running in here, and we just kind of Trinket air here, actually. And then he also just kind of bubbles air, why not, while we're at it. And you can see that they're not really on me. But he's once again gonna actually press the normal bob on me, not the spell bob, but the normal bob, even though they're not really gonna kill me, and I have Healthstone, of course. So he's running in, he has no cooldowns left, of course. And now he's gonna do this sneaky little kick on the Shadow Priest that's not even casting to give him a precog as well. But let's tap into his stream again, guys.
I did nothing wrong with him. He always do 3 and 4-2 in my lobby, and he making stuff like this, and he even then his own peoples would support him. Like, why you watching Infernals if he only flaming? Doesn't matter how good he is, he's a bad person, you see, guys. Ah, he fake casted me. This 1-5 lock.
Okay, this 1-5 lock, really? Are we really gonna go there? But let's see how legit this last game is. As we can see here, I'm on team with Kevin, and let's look at Kevin's last global here before he dies. He bobs me. Great last global. Now, let's take a look at his Twitch chat while this was going on. Remember how he said that all I do is flame him? When the only thing I've done is tweet about them Wintrading, which he's literally doing, and he's doing it on stream. He's saying that he just doesn't like people who call him a Wintrader for no reason, and that I'm linking lies on Twitter about him. His friend is also talking about mass reporting me in-game, and reporting me for hateful conduct on Twitch to try to get me banned there, all because I say that he's Wintrading. We can talk more about some Twitch messages later, but for now, let's look at the last game. I know it's a little bit much with all the lobbies, but I've tried to shorten it down as much as I could. And if you notice a lot of sub animations in these games, it's because AO gifted me 1,200 subs. So AO, if you're watching, thank you so much again. I really, really appreciate that. So we have pretty good position in this game. We're upstairs. They can't hit us right now, so they're going on my dragon. And my paladin actually decides to bop and sack me. So we don't really have any CDs left for my dragon now. Now my paladin gets hotched and my dragon presses wall here. And he actually almost kills the red paladin who bubbled. It would have been so fun if the red paladin died there, but I think it got a little bit too close for Kevin. So he decides to die with no bubble. The next game, I just straight up don't get healed. So that's a quick one. A lot of these games are actually pretty quick, so that's pretty nice, so it doesn't fill too much time in the video. See what happens here? They open up on Kevin, he trinkets, and he just kind of dies again. It's quite impressive, honestly. The next game here, where I'm actually stunned, they're going on me. He lay on hands my dragon, and then he spell bobs someone else, even though they're popping on me, and obviously I'm just gonna die here. So I guess since some of these games were a bit close, they just decided we can't risk it anymore, so it's time to just bubble air, spell bob a random target, and now there's just no cities left for me, and I'm the one they're gonna go on, so it's not really looking too good for us. He also manages to just kind of trinket air, and I'm just kind of alone at this point. I'm not really being healed either. So as always, once I run out of my health stone and my wall and my coil, I'm just gonna die. the last game, guys, that we will see, I'm upstairs. They are pumping me. I jump down. Not really getting healed too much, I feel, so I try to port away a little bit. And let's see where Kevin is going. Where is he going? Now, he decides to come back and give me a little bit of a bop here, so that's pretty generous, but of course I'm too low HP and he's just not gonna heal, so I'm dead. What a glorious run, guys. That's how you lose 250 MMR in 4 lobbies. So, as you guys can tell, I went 0-24 and I got gifted 1,200 subs by AO. The Prot Paladins truly ruined my day, and I was going to a pretty dark place. But then something happened. You see, the thing you have to remember, guys, is that every story has a hero. And in this situation, our hero wasn't Blizzard. As always, we needed something powerful. A true hero class. Who could possibly stand up to the Prot Paladin Empire? I know that if you're a long-term WoW player, you're thinking, it has to be a mage or a rogue now. And that's exactly what happened. It was Nala who ruined their win trade on Sub-Rogue by one-shotting a Death Knight in a smoke bomb. After this, Puxi got really angry at Nala and told him he destroyed everything. Rumors are also that Chimp has now blocked Puxi, as he's angry Puxi failed a win trade that would have placed him at rank 1 ladder world. The Ravens also whisper that Puxi has been seen trying to reach out to Chimp and say that he's just misunderstood and begging him to add him back. Guys, who knows? Maybe Kevin and Puxi are going to continue on their own. Or maybe they can team up with the Emperor himself, Abusno. Only time will tell. One thing is for certain though. We need Blizzard to act. Hi again, guys. As I had almost finished this video, the Paladins decided to make up and become friends again, and we had a few incidents on stream. So let's take a look at it. As you're gonna see here, it's not just me that these guys love to grief. These guys showed up in Trillebottom's stream after griefing him as well, with this message.
You can ask Infern what happens with peoples like you. This is the Prot Paladin Mafia is after me now.
You know, I have a better idea. Let's ask Blizzard if this behavior is okay, where people get to sit and ruin so many games for everyone else while harassing them. This is not just a few bad apples, the majority of the Prot Paladin ladder is Wintrading. Maybe what has to happen, at the very least, is that Prot Paladin should count as a DPS spec like the other tanks, so people can't Wintrade as easily. But as usual guys, their Wintrades aren't exactly the most clean ones.
Another 0-6 for you? I guess so. Congratulations. Oh, I should have naded first, Bismex. Yeah, the priest saved me, and then after this I'm probably dead. Wait, purging? The MDs? Sting this guy? Oh, a binding shot is trinket. I got a turtle. So these paladins, they look, he's just spam healing the priest because they want me to go 0-6. You guys are so fucking bad, you can't even win trade. Oh my god, he's sitting there spam healing the priest and he can't even win trade properly. Look, he's so mad, he's throwing his cooldowns out now instead. Maybe that'll make it easier. Oh my god, you guys are so fucking bad. Oh my god, dude. That is too funny, man. Oh god, that is good. You know what? That is so good.
Then they decided to come into my stream chat for over an hour, flaming me, threatening me, and even trying to intimidate me into silence. And I would love to show Chimp and Poxy's chat logs together, but Poxy managed to get himself suspended on Twitch for what he typed in my chat, so I can't do that. Let's take a look at what he had to say, and I've done my best to kind of censor some of it. And I'm showing this because I want to show what kind of characters we deal with, and that it's not just in-game stuff. These people are actually harassing people that are speaking about the Wintrading. We can see here that he starts by coming into my chat asking if I'm ill or something, to cry 24/7 about the tanks, saying that I must be mentally ill. You need to stop crying so much. You cry 24/7. Then he starts trying to get me on Discord, and he says this thing where he has 10 accounts, so he doesn't care if he gets banned. This is another issue with how Blizzard banned, because if you get banned in WoW, in case you guys didn't know, you can just open a new account on the same Battle.net and keep all your achievements and your mounts. So even if he would get banned on his main account, he probably doesn't even care, and he probably already, as he says, have a lot of other different accounts. But yeah, he starts to tell me that I will get my part 2 faster as I wanted, and I will never be able to forget it, and how he will
trade every warlock higher than me, you little snake. And if I need to push them all to 3,400, I will do it.
Then he starts talking about me coming Discord a lot of times again, and I feel like at this point he should just kind of understand that I'm not that into him. He starts to type some really questionable stuff as well, and I feel like I'm not really gonna read all of it, but you guys can clearly see what kind of person we're dealing with here. And I believe some German threats here where he says he wants to like punch my face or something. And then some more extreme ones here where I believe he's saying he wants to rip out my vocal cords and then also rip out something here. And it kind of just ends with him telling me, whatever Infernion, you'll see what happens. I'm done here to type to a duck shit 1500 and then a lot of things. And then he tells me to go die on cancer and some other stuff before he said goodbye. Let's take a look at Chimp Palace logs too, where he's asking me if I think my third-party evidence and putting time into a video is going to do anything. And he's also telling me that he looks forward to when the video drops so he can chase the slander allegations, and saying that the outcome of the protection slander is going to be the same as Damil and Aubrey, who I also made a video about, and Blizzard didn't ban them. So that's kind of the sentiment the wind traders have, where they see so many people who did not get banned for wind trading that they think they can just publicly admit it and talk like this now without getting banned. He also starts saying that he didn't give me permission to post his name, and tells me to see how long the video will last up with all the slander. But here's the thing. Your public in-game name is not some private protected thing. It's shown on the ladder, it's shown in-game, it's shown in my public stream, where you decide to join to talk and to grief me. I'm simply documenting my own gameplay experience with clear evidence of griefing and behavior. That's very fair use. The truth is not slander. Imagine griefing someone on stream and then claiming slander when it's shown publicly. Like, you literally cannot make this up. And you know what's even more funny? This is the same guy who once told someone else Prot Paladin rank 1 isn't much of anything, and who talked about how pathetic it was that Abusna was putting in so much effort so he could brag about an irrelevant title. Maybe you should have taken your own advice. See you guys in part 2.